Hello and welcome. This quick explainer is going to walk you through the security settings you have to configure on your Mac. Getting these right isn't just important, it's absolutely essential for security and compliance. So let's jump right in.
Look, your main job, your #1 responsibility, is to protect sensitive patient health information, what we call PHI. The settings we're about to go over are the digital locks and alarms that keep this data safe. It's a huge part of your professional duty. And I need to be crystal clear about this. These settings are not optional. They are mandatory. Your system is going to be audited, and if these settings aren't correct, it's an automatic fail. Simple as that. So let's walk through this carefully and get it right the first time.
Okay, step 1 is all about enabling FileVault. Think of this as our first line of defense if your laptop is ever physically lost or stolen, which is why we're starting here.
So what is FileVault exactly? It's basically a digital vault for your entire computer. It scrambles all the data on your hard drive, turning it into unreadable code. That way, if your Mac ever falls into the wrong hands, all that sensitive info is completely useless to them without the password. All right, let's get it turned on. You're going to go to the Apple menu in the top left corner of your screen and then click System Settings. From there, find and click Privacy and Security. Just scroll down a bit until you see FileVault. If it says it's off, click that Turn On button and just follow the on-screen instructions. And here's our first checkpoint. Before you move on, stop and make sure your screen clearly says FileVault is turned on. Now this can sometimes take a little while to finish up in the background, so you might need to be patient, but don't move forward until you see that confirmation. Okay, I'm going to pause here because this is critical. During the setup, you'll get a recovery key. This is your one and only lifeline if you forget your password. So please listen carefully. Do not skip this step. You have to save your recovery key and store it exactly as laid out in the company policy. If you lose this key, you lose access to all your data, period.
Great. Now that your data is secure if your Mac is ever stolen, let's talk about protecting it from online threats. So for step 2, we're going to enable the firewall. What's a firewall? Well, it's like having a security guard for your internet connection. It stands at the front door of your computer and inspects everything trying to come in from the network. If it sees something suspicious or unauthorized, it blocks it. It's a really simple but effective barrier. Turning this on is super easy. Back in System Settings, you'll click on Network. Then you'll see Firewall. Just click on that and flip the switch to On. You'll know it's on when it turns green.
After you've turned it on, you need to click the Options button. We just need to double-check 2 things in here. First, make sure the box next to Automatically Allow Built-in Software is checked on. That lets all the normal Apple stuff work. And second, make sure Enable Stealth Mode is also checked on. This makes your Mac practically invisible to hackers who are scanning networks for targets.
All right, moving on to step 3. For this one, we're not actually changing anything. We're just going to verify that a really important security feature, Gatekeeper, is set up correctly to protect you.
So, Gatekeeper. Think of it as a bouncer for the apps on your Mac. Its whole job is to make sure you're only installing software from places Apple trusts. This is a huge deal because it dramatically lowers the risk of you accidentally installing some malware that could steal patient data.
And this is the part you need to check. The setting must be on App Store and identify developers. That's the correct compliance setting. If you see it set to anywhere, that's a major security red flag and it's not compliant.
You can find this setting right back in Privacy and Security. And I want to be really clear. Do not change this setting. It's set this way for a reason, to protect you and our data from malware. It must stay this way.
Okay, we're at our final configuration step. This one is all about what happens when you step away from your computer. It's a simple thing, but it's incredibly important for preventing someone from just walking up and using your machine.
You know, it only takes a few seconds for someone to access an unlocked computer. That's why your Mac has to be set up to lock itself automatically after just a few minutes of you being away. This is a non-negotiable rule whether you're at home, a co-working space, or anywhere else.
So here are the exact settings you need. Go to Lock Screen in your System Settings. For Turn Display Off on Battery, set it to 5 minutes. For Turn Display Off on Power Adapter, set it to no more than 10 minutes. And the most important one, Require Password, has to be set to Immediately.
Let me say that again so there's no confusion. The display timeout can absolutely not be set to never, and the password requirement must be immediately. That means there's no grace period. The second that screen goes black, a password is required to get back in. And that's it. We've covered all 4 mandatory settings. Before we wrap up, let's just do a quick final check to make sure you're all set and ready to go.
So here's your final checklist, the 4 big don'ts. 1. Don't ever turn off FileVault. 2. Don't ever turn off the firewall. 3. Don't ever change Gatekeeper to allow apps from anywhere. And 4. Don't ever set your display timeout to never. These are the 4 pillars of your device's security.
And just a reminder, this isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. These settings are checked and verified through audits. So staying compliant isn't just a one-time task. It's an ongoing responsibility.
So the big question is, are you compliant? I want you to take a moment right now to quickly go back through those 4 steps we covered and just double-check everything. Making sure this is all correct is entirely in your hands. Thank you for taking this seriously.